So last year I made a predictions video about what would happen in 2020. Obviously there's a lot that's gone on in 2020 which I couldn't predict, but let's see how I did with my 15 different predictions in the voice industry. So my predictions were split into 5 different categories. So we were looking at Amazon, Google, Samsung, Apple, and just general industry updates. And I made 3 predictions for each one of those categories. Now, to make this fair, I also had a scoring mechanism. So essentially for each prediction, I'm going to score it whether I nailed it, 2 points, partially accurate, which was 1 point, not completely wrong, but a little bit wrong would be -1 point, and absolutely way off is -2 points. So let's go through those predictions now, and let's start off with Amazon. So my 3 predictions there was Amazon will launch a smartwatch. So that didn't happen, so totally way off there, -2 points. Amazon will start to understand your emotions, so we'll see how you're responding and then reply accordingly. Again, totally way off, they can't do that. No releases or no updates on that. And the third one, unfortunately, was a clean sweep. Amazon will launch a new phone, so absolutely way off there. There have been lots of updates to the Alexa app. So most recently, the ability to type and interact with an Alexa skill there. But no, totally way off. So on the Amazon side of things, 3 predictions, all totally way off. Now, Google, a little bit better. So the first of all was Google didn't really launch too many new devices in 2019, and the idea here was that my first prediction would be launching some new hardware devices, and so we did see them do that with the new Nest speaker products. We also saw the brand new Google Chromecast as well, featuring the controller and the voice button as well. So 2 points there, nailed it. Number 2 prediction for Google will launch a paid advertisement product related to the Google Assistant. So absolutely way off, -2 points there. There's been no kind of changes there in how you gain voice search answers. The only kind of change there was actually that still not to come through to the Google Assistant is that paid listings for shopping used to be a paid product, and now they're completely free, so anybody with an e-commerce website can submit their products over to Google. And so my view there is that eventually those products will then come through to the Google Assistant, so when you ask a question to buy something, they'll be then able to surface a product from those feeds. Currently, if you ask to buy something, generally Google then will send you over to a local based intent and read out some local listings. So yeah, paid advertisement, -2 points. And the last one would be the expansion of Duplex in terms of locations and verticals. So here I'm going to go partly accurate, +1. And the reason for that was that they started to use Duplex this year. So Duplex is their system which goes out, calls businesses and makes a reservation on behalf of the customer. But they slightly changed it this year, and this is where kind of my expansion is coming on. Is they started to use Duplex to call businesses to find out opening hours and stocks. And obviously with COVID this year, a lot of things have changed in regards to when stores were open, if they weren't open, if they were closed down, etc. So rather than relying on business owners to update that information, Google was using Duplex to go and ask those questions to those business owners. So 1 point there. So slightly better on the Google side of things. Samsung, 3 predictions, all 3 wrong, all -2 points here. Samsung Bixby will launch in the car with the car unit, didn't really happen. A central control hub unit was my second prediction, and the third one was receiving payments for Bixby capsule development. So again, -2, -2, -2, all there for Samsung. So not great there. And last of the big companies, Apple. So first of all, Apple would launch an equivalent to Actions and Skills. It's not happened, -2. Still waiting for seeing what's going to happen with that. Are we going to have Siri skills, Siri only apps, etc.? Next one would be Siri will be built into new software updates and new elements of the iPhone. So -1, there have been quite a few different updates, as there are always to Apple products over the year, and there have been some improved integrations with Siri in 2020, but not really kind of making it even more forefront of the experience for the users. The last one, did get this one right, a lower cost version of the HomePod. So the HomePod, $200-300, and now they've created the HomePod Mini, which is coming in at £99 here in the UK. So I did get that prediction right, +2 points. And the last predictions were my general industry predictions. So here, the first of all was adoption rates of smart speakers in the USA, Canada, and the UK will slow down but rise globally. So we did actually see this. So if you look at some of the data from VoiceBots, .ai earlier in the year, the growth in the US year on year had slowed down. It was still good growth, but it hadn't been the growth it's seen in the previous years. What I didn't really get there is that adoption rates have kind of, in a weird way, improved, and that's because of COVID. So more people have been using their smart speakers. So maybe the sales aren't increasing at the rate they have done in the past. They're still year on year more being sold. But what we've seen is that people have been getting far more usage of their smart speakers due to being at home. Second one would be companies will start to launch their own branded assistant, so their own kind of voice assistant. And so partially accurate, there's been a lot more talk about this in the industry. We've seen also the Beeb release their version of the Beeb assistant that was available on your computer, and we've recently seen them using that. The voice on articles, etc. A lot of car manufacturers have gone down the route of building their own assistant to sit alongside Google or Alexa, etc. So there has been an increase in that area of interest, and companies are looking into that. So 1 point there. And the last one would be a UK retailer or a company would launch their own hardware device. So we've not really seen this. We know there's the ability for companies to build their own physical hardware devices. If anything, it's kind of gone the other way. We've seen in France, Orange, and they had their they had their own smart speaker and assistant, and that's kind of stopped being sold. So actually -2 on that one. So they're all my predictions for 2020. Overall, we totalled the scores, and it was a terrible score of -11. But obviously, a lot of things happened in 2020 that we weren't kind of expecting to happen, but we did get some predictions right there. So Apple launching the low-cost HomePod, and especially with Google, the new homeware, and them using Duplex a little bit more. So yeah, hopefully those predictions were not too way off. There were some things that might happen maybe next year. So what I'll be doing is I'll be making my predictions for 2021 in a new post or video soon. Thanks very much.